Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, the ESPN for all things comedy, with your hosts, Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne. And now, grab a drink and welcome Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Round Table, our more wider version of Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Richie Byrne, and with me as always,
Mark Riccadonna.
What's going on?
I'm back on the side of the road. I am in Seneca, New York. We had a show last night, which was a lot of fun at a brewery. So suffice to say, I'm hungover. I'm on the side of a road doing a podcast, and people are looking at me.
Yes. Well, this is every day for you lately.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's, getting back to doing stuff has been weird.
When are you home?
You all right, Richie?
When are you home? Tonight?
I'm driving home. Yeah, I'm as soon as we're done with this, I'm heading back home. So I'm excited for that. And I met a guy who owns a distillery and a fine cocktail bar that's on the lake, and he wants us to come up and do an episode out of his distillery.
That just sounds creepy.
Yeah, no,
right.
He said he really likes you, and he's going to lock you in the basement.
Cool. I've had worse. I've had worse gigs. Who books that? Guys, let's start the show. Hey, Tom, can you come out? Tom.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Tom, he's breaking up, right? Not me?
I think you're both breaking up a little bit, but it's okay. You guys look great anyway. And we have such a fun show today. I feel like we got so much coming up this week, and we have so many incredible musicians. Matter of fact, one of the musicians we have on today was the gentleman that not only spoke, but also wrote the song for our theme song.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it. Well, let's bring him out. Paul Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Hey.
That's him.
I can't believe I forgot that.
That's all good. It's all good. When I heard it start, I heard it. You know, the intro thing is awesome. It looks great and sounds awesome. And I was like, wow, that really sounds good. Yeah. Wait, that's me. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Well, I did all the graphics.
To be totally honest, so
I did all the graphics. So.
Yeah, it was great. It looks really good.
I worked really hard on that. Good to have you. We're doing a show today. Is that Mark's thumb on like?
Yes, that would be Mark's thumb. Unless it's another appendage.
It could be worse.
Well, let's bring out all our guests. We're doing a show on singers today, and Paul's a great singer. We'll get to him, but I want to bring everybody out. Our next guest is one of my dearest friends in show business. I love her to death, and I love her husband. They've been on the show before. Let's bring out Jenna Esposito. Come on out. Jenna Esposito. Hi, honey.
What's up, Jenna?
Hey, Jenna. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good to see all of you.
Such a pleasure. So nice
Every time Mark comes back in, I lose everybody.
Mark, it's all your fault. You know that, right?
I'm the bad luck charm.
You're the cooler.
It's all right. We'll keep it rolling.
Oh shit.
And then also we have another incredible musician coming out that has so many great stories. And we've heard some great Beatles stories before. So I'm so interested to talk to the amazing Billy J. Kramer as well. Welcome to it.
Crap.
Awesome.
I love that.
Such a pleasure. So how is everybody?
Great.
Ironically busy, which is a
good thing.
It is a good thing for a musician. Obviously, that's a great thing, and that's something that we were all dying to get back to after this crazy thing happened, virus, and everything went ape shit. And then all of a sudden, for me, I don't know what it was like for them, but for me, and I'm pretty sure for all you guys, everything just went like in a vacuum. Just everything vanished, like everything just disappeared. And I was
everything came to a grinding halt.
It was the most bizarre. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Like that.
Nobody has.
That was the weirdest. I mean, in 1920 they did, or 1919, or whatever the fuck that was. So
very strange.
But like that was just. I mean, it was so weird. And then obviously some things opened up in the summer, and we were allowed to do some things outdoors. And okay, that's working. And then you build shields, and like I have a shield in my studio now. This great big shield. I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna do with it, but I've got one. So it's here, and people wear masks. We have masks you can grab when you come in, and the whole thing. But I mean, I've had my shots.
It was like a movie. I was driving home from Boston, and all of a sudden, the other comic sitting next to me, his phone rings. He picks it up. And he goes, "I just lost $70,000 in work in one phone call."
I know.
I was like, "Oh, that sucks, man." Then, like
crap.
3 minutes later, my phone rings, and it's a club canceling a date. Then his phone rings, it's another club, and it just kept going back and forth.
That's
where we were like, "Stop ringing!"
I was getting email after email after email after email, and I was like, "No, we're supposed to tour." No, wait. No, it shut down the whole thing. The whole new. We were all excited. We had this whole thing planned, and see it.
I did this one gig, Daryl's Hall's place from upstate, but it was like the club was empty, no audience, and like we're just like playing the songs, and like I wonder if they like this one.
There was like 4 people in there, and you're like, "Did you like it?"
There was nobody.
There was literally no one.
No one.
Wow.
Just me and the band.
Was it online or?
Yes, it was online.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a weird. I did one of those too. I did it in my living room in early May. March and April, it pretty much put me into a depression, and I'm not actually making a joke, but I did actually feel that for the first time, and it was kind of weird, and it was just weird. I felt so not
strange.
important, non-existent. Like it was bizarre for an artist to feel like that. And I'd never felt that in my whole life. I've always been like, "Wah!" Like that's always been my thing. So, and all of a sudden I did this show. My wife was helping me. I rehearsed my butt off. Like I was like so serious about this show. And I did it in my living room, and it turned out awesome. And it was the catalyst that allowed me to kind of, get on with life. I know music heals everything. I'm just gonna say it, and it's true. I know that sounds like cliche and nonsense and whatever.
I went to Nashville, and started a new album. And it was weird, but all the guys with masks on. And
I know, right?
But the songs we did turned out great. I was really pleased with it.
Wow.
That's good that they got that to happen, because same thing happened with me. Everyone's wearing a mask. Or we're recording separately. Like the bass and the drums are in this studio, and then 2 weeks later we're in this studio recording the rhythm section.
I decided this time I was going to do it with everybody doing it at the same time.
Of course, you decided in the middle of the pandemic that's what you're going to do. That's awesome. I don't even know how you got away with that.
And Jenna, your husband was one of the first people I think we know that got it.
Yeah, so I was doing a show.
Oh, stop. Seriously?
Yeah, I was doing a show in Manhattan last March 7th, and he was there that night, and he was sneezing and coughing, and none of us thought anything of it. And then 8 days later, he was admitted to the hospital. He's only the 8th person admitted to Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn. So,
wow.
Yeah, it got really bad really quickly. 4 days in, his doctor called me to tell me he might not make it. It was really, really scary. Yeah, wow. And for as little as they know now, they knew nothing then. So they're just throwing everything at the wall.
Right.
I mean, he ended up going on a bunch of news and talk shows because he was one of the first patients they gave hydroxychloroquine and then chloroquine to. And he got better, and we can't say if it was medicine or he would have gotten better anyway, but it was so controversial at the time. So he ended up on Dr. Phil and the Nightly News with Lester Holt, and you guys had one of the first.
Wow.
We actually had
up now. I'm so intrigued. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
We actually had him
not
on
awesome
the
that
show.
He got that. That's not what I meant, by the way.
Yeah.
We actually had him on our show from his hospital bed. Yes. He was in the hospital bed with the air thing.
Okay. Right.
And he's the biggest ball buster on the planet. So it was hard because you wanted to get him back, but at the same time, it was like, oh God, we don't know what's happening right now.
I know, he looks so pathetic in his hospital gown and the oxygen. It's like you can't be mean to him. But it was crazy. He went through so much, and then he came home and he was on oxygen for a month at home, and I was scared. I'm like, am I supposed to be caring for him? I don't know what I'm doing. What if the oxygen goes down? What do I do?
So I understand.
Yeah.
Now you ended up getting it as well, but not as severe.
Right. So I mean, when he got admitted to the hospital, I was having mild symptoms. So I had a mild fever, body aches, a cough. I mean, nowhere near the severity. So at that point, tests were so scarce, they couldn't give me one. His doctors just said, assume you have it, quarantine strictly for 14 days. And if you get any worse, go to the emergency room. So luckily it didn't get any worse for me, but all I could do, I had to stay at home. My family couldn't even visit. My dad brought groceries for me and knocked on the door and left them outside. That's, how seriously we had to take it. But it was, I was so worried about my husband, Jimmy. And meanwhile, I couldn't even have a friend or family member over to give me a hug. So it was a really weird.
Oh, that's the worst. So that is the worst because, artists, I can tell you, all of us here, we're people. We like people. That's the whole point. That's why we do what we do. So you're right. Like we have people when we do our thing and create the art, and then we have people that enjoy the art. Like we need the people. It's like a real thing. It's like so
we love it.
And it's like all that just literally went into a vacuum.
That is a weird question.
It was the most bizarre thing that I've ever experienced in my. I mean, I don't know how it affected everyone else on that level. I mean, my brother caught COVID. My daughter caught COVID, and she's a performer and a singer and an actress and all thing. And I was all worried. I was all freaking out. It hit them both pretty hard, but it wasn't the lung part, which I was grateful for because that's what knocks you out. That's what takes you out.
Yeah.
He didn't have to go to the hospital. She didn't have to go to the hospital, but they both got their shots as soon as that was done. Just so you know, that was not even a thought.
Nope.
Like that wasn't. No, don't even think about it. Let's go.
Now, Jenna, I have to ask. Now, have you noticed now that you're better and you're able to perform, has it affected your singing at all?
No, thank goodness. My voice is fine. My lung capacity is fine. But Jimmy, my husband, he still has breathing issues, some scarring in the lungs. Like he's got what they call the long COVID, and so it affects his stamina, and he gets tired very easily. So something we still take really seriously. I mean, we're both vaccinated. We did that as soon as we could, but especially now that there's these breakthrough cases and stuff, we're just being extra cautious. But I just found out yesterday, actually, that the Feast of San Gennaro is happening for sure this year, which is great because it was canceled last year and they were kind of on the fence this year. But so I mean, that's going to be great. I'm lucky. At least we'll be able to kind of distance ourselves. We'll be on the stage, not among the throngs of thousands of people. But it's gonna be a good thing. Hopefully they can get through it safely. But I'm very excited to be back there this year.
Well, it seemed like when they did Lollapalooza that they did it right to a degree.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't, you're not admitted unless and apparently they went through this whole process to get people in there. They didn't cause a big super spreader scenario, which was, to me, I was shocked because I just knew that was going to be the Chicago hell at some point or wherever it was. It was Chicago. But
when I heard about it, I was like, I don't know if that's.
I was feeling the same way about it. And Firefly's coming to Dover. I mean, right here where I live.
Yeah.
Firefly's coming, and I don't know if I want to be out in the mud with a bunch of people right now. I don't think that's...
No, it's really tricky, you know, because I mean, on a personal level and a performance level, I want everything to happen and all these shows to go on, but you worry about your safety. So
I was like, I'm not even sure I want to be on the stage, let alone at the event. So it's like a weird, but then I've got these events coming up, and I you know, I've been longing to do it. So this, you know, I got to get out there and do it. I have to, you know, and the theater, it's going to be weird because it's enclosed and all that. It's a black box. So the audience was already intimate. Now it's going to be really intimate. So yeah, I mean, we've literally cut the audience in half is basically what's going to happen. Which kind of blows, but it's cool. But I don't know.
Billy, where are you streaming in from?
From Long Island.
Oh, you're out in Long Island? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Billy, I live in Long Island too. Can I come over so we can do this?
Why not?
So you have an album coming out. Paul, you have an album coming out. Did you write it before everything happened and then have to try to figure out how to record it, or did you do it during?
You can go, Billy.
Funny enough, I made demos, very good demos, and I took them with me and played them to the musicians, and they just got it together. It was amazing.
Wow.
You know, I did it with a friend of mine, a guy called Tom Hambridge, who produces Buddy Guy, and he's a bit of a genius, you know. And it was just such a buzz, you know. It's great. You know, I mean, you know, we all love what we do, but you know, I mean, it's like everybody. I've been doing a lot of stuff with computers and stuff for a number of years, but to go back and do it like I did in the early days, it was great.
Reel to reel?
No. I'd like to have done that. You know, that would be great.
I did one record like that for sure. Yeah. My first record, I did that. Well, with me, it was like very similar to Billy. I've been working on demos in 2019, and it kind of went into 2020 with some of the stuff I was writing, and there was some weird I don't know, serendipitous is not the right word, but there was some odd things that I wrote that fit what ended up happening in the world, and I wasn't doing that on purpose. I was just, this is where I was. I mean, I'm not saying I was in a dark place, but I was in a okay, so I'm older and it is what it is, but you know, I'm going to now do a new band with a whole new sound at 50. Okay, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it, and I don't care. My wife was like, yeah, just do it. Okay.
Just do it.
All right, sure. And so now I'm doing it. So I write these demos, and I use, you know, I'm using drum machines and whatever the hell I can throw in there, and it's got so much crap in it. That's the thing I do. I throw everything, the kitchen sink, everything. Throw it all in there, and then because it's easier to take stuff out than it is to put stuff back in.
Right.
So I just throw everything in there, and I let musicians listen to it, and they're like, "Hey, there's a lot going on." I'm like, "I know that's not what's gonna happen. Just listen to it." He goes, "All right, I can." And I'm the bass and the drummer specifically. I give them kind of a wide open field, and I like to do that with a lot of tunes. And with this particular project in general, I gave them kind of a wide open. There was still a map, but it wasn't like you have to play this note.
No,
it wasn't like that. And the only things that were specific were guitar parts, keyboard parts, maybe odd sounds and things, but that was about it. But yeah, it's kind of weird, some of the songs that I wrote, because
you know, it's funny because like I
hit this situation.
One of the songs I did, which was maybe 9 months before was a thing called Change Your World. You know, it just happened. But we never did any overdubs. It's just 4 musicians, me and some bands.
That's awesome.
Now, do you guys have any songs that are in your rep that you want to look back and maybe tweak or change a little because it fits the times more?
No.
Okay, well, so this is very interesting. So my wife has been directing and working on a film called On the Battlefield. It's a documentary about a civil rights activist, and she's an environmentalist, and it's a you know, she did a lot of things for Southern Virginia. Anyway, the film, the way this woman was, I go back and look at some of the stuff I wrote, and there's a couple songs that I did that she almost says word for word when she's being interviewed, and I'm like, okay, that's too weird. Because I said to my wife, I said, you know, I say that in this song because I know. I go, well, I should redo this or do something with this. It doesn't. She goes, yes, you should. So this is the only time this has ever happened. But so I'm redoing 2 songs that I did back in the 90s when I was signed, and why not? Way back in the day.
Well, you know, I've had similar experiences where you know, like the last album I did, I Won the Fight. I did a song called Breakfast in Marin, which was something that I'd done in England like 40 years ago. I did it with session guys. I didn't like it. I did it with just me and the producer doing all the instruments. And I'd forgotten all about it. And one day I was in the car and I happened to play it to a friend of mine. I said, have you ever play this? And he went, that's great. Why don't you do it? You know. So I went back and did a song then, you know. And the project I'm working on now, I may go back and do a song that I did in the 60s at Abbey Road. Just, you know, to put a cap on the album. You know. Could you understand me?
I was only wondering about that because you have a new album out called I Won the Fight.
Yes.
And I feel like it's such a great title for something coming out now. It's like, it's so fitting. Was that part of what happened, or was it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened was I wrote a couple of songs. I wrote this song, Liverpool with Love, because with the intention of, I wanted to really get it through to people. I felt the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and everybody had forgotten Brian Epstein. And I wrote this song, Liverpool with Love, and it got popular around the Beatles circles, and he got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I recorded another song called Sunset to Santa Fe, and it just kept on going and going. And one day I thought, I've got all these songs and I've got nothing to tie all together. And it's the first time that I've sat down and wrote something more or less there and then. It was just me, a bass player, and I played guitar. And I Won the Fight. It was pretty easy though. Because I thought, you know, I've been in this business 50 years and the shit you go through. You know, and I'm still doing it.
Everyone was like, yeah, the shit you go through. Yeah. You know.
So
you know, I'm gonna like, there's a line in there that goes, I started from the bottom and I never forgot what it was like.
Yeah.
On the fight.
Yeah.
Now
I feel like I'm in the bottom right now.
One of these days, Richie, we're gonna get you a gig so you can get some internet.
Mark, before we go on, while I'm in the middle of trying to do this, a text comes up from Rob Bartlett saying, hey, I'm watching the show. Should I get in my car? Just what I need.
Yeah.
I need Rob Bartlett heckling us. Tom, Do me a favor. Send Rob the link and tell him to come on.
You got it, sir. You got it. I'll do. I'm gonna go run to my car right now.
Rob,
So I
come
feel
on
like
the show, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to last, Rob. So come on the show.
Well, I want to shift gears a little bit here and go to a little bit of a happier times. And talking about starting at the bottom, I'd like to pull up the picture from your 20th birthday party. It's not too. That's a pretty cool bottom to be part of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who are those guys, Billy? Tell us their names.
I'm glad at least you had a comb.
I don't understand what's going on right now. Wow.
I feel like you were the only one with a comb that day.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny if it was my 20th birthday.
Wow.
That day, you know, I was at a gig in England called the Gormont in a town called Bournemouth. I was doing like weeks at every seaside town with the Beatles, you know. And
wow.
Wow.
Now that was your 20th birthday, so that was definitely water in those cups.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. That's
No. It could have been a bit of whiskey and coke. I can't remember. It was crazy.
No, you knew them before they came to America. You were over working with them. Give us a little bit of your beginnings. How did you even get into music?
Sometimes I wonder, how did I get into music? I used to sort of like play guitar with some friends, and we all lived in like the same street, and I got my cousin to sort of join the band, and then we used to play at this like Legion Hall, you know, and there'd be all these old men drinking beer and playing darts and dominoes, and that was it. And then they said, you know, you got to pay for the electricity, so you got to do a gig on a Saturday night. So we did. And they gave us 1 pint of beer. That was it. And but people, lines started coming on a Saturday night. And we used to pack the place, and we said, we've got to do something about this. And I was just playing guitar, and we were trying different singers out. And then the guy said to me, you know, Billy, your guitar playing sucks. You better try the singing. And I did this gig at a club and put the guitar on the stage. I thought this is going to be a passing fad, you know. I just wanted to drink beer and play guitar behind somebody else. And the guitar got stolen, and I couldn't afford another. And that's the truth.
No way.
You know?
Wow.
So, you know, I did an audition at a place called Aintree Institute, and I met the Beatles for the first time that night. You know, they used to put the starter bands on early, and then people like the Beatles later. And I got like 6 gigs out of it, and it just started. And we started doing the same places, you know, around Liverpool, and I did a lot of gigs with them. And then I was about to pack it in. I was in engineering, and I was about to go to a place called Crew for a year. And I was going to, you know, told the guys, that's it, I'm out. And then about a month before, Brian Epstein came along and gave me an offer. And I'd seen what he did with the Beatles. I thought he was doing, you know, they hadn't had any hits, but I could see they were on their way. And so I took the chance. You know,
Wow.
He said, what happened was I was earning, believe it or not, I was earning about $15 for doing like 40 or 50 hours a week. And he said, I'll give you £50 a week. If you make more, it's yours. If you make less, I'll give it to you out of your, you know, £50. Then there was like $3 or $4 to a pound. It was it was quite a leap, you know. And then I sort of got with the Dakotas and did the Star Club in Hamburg and everything. And I recorded the song "Do You Want to Know a Secret" actually before the Beatles, and it was a #1 hit.
Wow.
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 Yeah,
There it is.
So, and then I was into this crazy world of show business.
Now, speaking of secrets, we have somebody in the back that we'd like to bring out. Let's pop him on out. I don't know if this is a ninja or Rob Bartlett.
I'm on with Riccadonna and you know who. I'll be there later.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, Billy, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
How's Ronnie?
She's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Send my love. You guys can, go now because we're gonna. Billy has one of the single greatest Beatles stories ever, and you got to tell it. You got to tell it, Billy. You got to.
Which one is it?
The one where you.
Which one is it?
You have a lot of Beatles stories when you ask, what is it?
It was you,
so many.
It was you, the midget, and it was everyone you guys know this, but John and Paul used to write songs for Billy. I mean,
wow.
They wrote "Bad to Me" and "From a Window" and some of Billy's hits because Brian had managed them both, and so John used to be the one who would give Billy the songs, and then one day he gets a phone call from Paul, and I will let Billy pick up the story from there.
From Paul, I said to him, I'd never. They'd always come to me with songs, but I said to him, I need a song, and he played "Yesterday." I said, I don't like it.
Oh my God!
I said, no. I said, Paul, I just had a hit with I just done the Burt Bacharach song, "Trains and Boats and Planes." I want a rock and roll song. And then
oh my
a
God.
month later, it was like bang,
Oh,
Wow.
I don't like that song. Yeah.
It's like the time they asked me if I wanted to do Saturday Night Live, and I said, nah, why don't you pick Eddie? Eddie's much.
The thing is, Rob, when I did "Do You Want to Know a Secret," it was I'd flown to London to finish it, and I go over to this woman. I said, the information. Can you give me how do I get to St. John's Wood? She writes it all out, and I go to Abbey Road and finish "Do You Want to Know a Secret?" And I went back to the airport, and the woman was still there. And I walked over, and I told her what I was there for. And she said, "How did you get on today?" I said, "It was all right." I said, "You know something? I don't like it very much. Maybe your daughters will." And I gave her the acetate of "Do You Want to Know a Secret?"
Wow.
And that was because I never in a million years thought it was going to happen.
Why wasn't I friends with you back then? Is what I want to know. I'd be retired, reaping in the bucks from releasing the "You Want to Know a Secret." Meanwhile, your version, and I know this is blasphemy, and it's the only time I will actually blaspheme. I think your version's better than the one George sings.
Well, I mean, I don't like to say that, but I mean, when I think about it, it was the first recording session I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
First time I've been in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
It was and I was working with George Martin. I was very intimidated, but it was a big surprise, right?
No, I'm a big fan of process, of knowing process. You were on Ed Sullivan. Can you walk us through what that whole process is?
That's a good point. But before you do were you aware? Was Ed Sullivan a big deal to you guys? I know once the Beatles did it, it was. But were you guys out in England? Did you even know who Ed Sullivan was in 1962 or 1963?
I'll tell you something. I knew nothing about Ed Sullivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in fact, I came over to New York with Brian before the Beatles and did a promotional tour, and nothing happened. And Ed Sullivan, I'll walk you through it very simply. Believe it or not, I wasn't nervous at all because I had like a real disaster at the London Palladium. I was like so nervous. And when Ed Sullivan came around, I'll tell you the truth, I went to the theater, did a sound check, and then I left. And I just came back there just as I was about to go on. I was on. And funny enough, maybe he didn't say much to me, It was weird. Because, when you think about it, if you think about it too much, like the thought of like 70 million people looking at you is a bit scary.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is,
yeah. That's
I didn't know what it was like because there was no VCRs back then. I never saw the Ed Sullivan show.
Oh, wow.
Years afterwards. It was my wife. When I met my wife, we were knocking around together. I went to a place and she said, "Have you ever seen these things?" And she had this, it was a massive, big, I think it was a Grundig VCR, and she played me Ed Sullivan show. I looked at her like, God, what a jerk.
Well, Billy, if you weren't nervous about performing in front of 70 million people, you have nothing to worry about today.
We have literally couples of people watching. So
you sucked the thought right out of my head, Richie. That's where I was going next.
Do you believe? Can I just say really quick that my landscaper just showed up I'm in my car. My landscaper's right behind me now. This couldn't be worse for me. Look.
Why are you guys in your cars? That's what I don't understand.
I'm in Seneca, New York. The library is the only place I can get Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Seneca?
I had a show at a brewery.
A brewery. I gotta go.
Hey.
This is a good one, Rob.
Aren't you taking the drinks, jokes, and storytelling thing a little too far? You're doing drink.
He was talking about his hangover.
I'm the Daniel Day-Lewis of podcasting.
There you go.
When the brewery thing came up, when the show first started.
Method acting.
It took me back to when Flower Power came in England. I'm doing this gig with a caftan and beads and all the girls are at the front of the stage going crazy. And a guy walks on the stage and pours a pint of beer over my head.
No way.
Poured it on your head?
Over my head. I said, "What'd you do that for?" And he said, "I didn't want it." It's like, how'd you follow that?
Yeah, what do you say? I mean,
can't argue with that.
Okay. Well, glad I could help.
I have a certain sense of humor, I guess.
Well,
what are some of you guys' hell gig stories? Because as comics, Rob and Richie, and I can tell you a million with stand-up, but with music, there's part of me that is really jealous because if the audience is awful, you can turn to each other and kind of go, let's do it for each other and try to play together. Yeah. But I imagine.
You guys know Lorenzo's in Staten Island?
Absolutely, yeah, in the Hilton.
Yeah, so they booked me to do their big Christmas show one year, which, it's a beautiful room. I love it. Well, in the middle of maybe the fifth song, the sound system blew completely.
Oh.
Just blew out. No. So I realized that I'm sweating on stage. I'm like, and my whole band, I've got amps and stuff behind me. So, I'm trying to sing over these amplified instruments. The sound guy is running to the stage, turning the monitors to face the audience Oh my God. I don't think I've ever sweated that much in a gig. And I did a gig in 110 degrees in Milwaukee 2 summers ago. It was horrible. It was so stressful. And I just felt like, the audience was let down. I feel like they came to see the show and there were all these technical difficulties and stuff that was totally out of my control. I mean, it was horrible. And then the 110 degree gig in Milwaukee a couple of summers ago, that was the only time I've actually come like that close to fainting on stage. It was so hot and humid and disgusting. And I'm doing these big belty Italian songs. I went to take a deep breath towards the end of Al Di La, and I was like, I saw stars. Oh my God. I just passed out for a second. So
I usually play extra for that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. So those were,
wow.
Horrible. But again, it's just stuff that's out of your control. I think anything we can control, we're like, okay, that's fine. But stuff like weather and sound systems blowing, just make for a really stressful time.
How about you, Paul?
Well, there's been many gigs that were just a complete disaster, but due to things out of my control that you can't control. Like we had a light truss literally fall right on the stage and barely missed our keyboard player and our drummer in the middle of the show. So
holy crap!
Yeah, we were about to become the next Curtis Mayfield because that was about to go down. Like someone was going to get hurt, and it happened, and they stopped the show. And here's the funny part. So after they fixed the truss or moved it out of the way, or whatever they did, you guys want to go back on?
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I think we're okay. We did go back on and do like a few acoustic tunes, and then said thanks, good night, whatever.
Yeah, that reminds me. I have one other health story. In high school, I was doing community theater, and we took our show to this like old folks home, and it's like the end of a song, which was like jump up with our hands in the air. So I jump up with my hands in the air, and I felt something hit my fingertips. And stupid me, instead of just backing away immediately, I looked up to see what it was. It was this huge, like 20-foot metal rod that then came crashing down and broke my nose.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So that I think that tops the almost fainting in the sound.
That's bad. Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yeah,
I've been
like in high school too, and I was at that awkward stage with braces and kind of the mushroom bowl cut thing. So I wasn't a looker anyway. And then I had a huge swollen nose and black eyes. It was awful.
I got smashed in the back of the head by my lead guitar player. During a song, I was doing like this, and he stood behind me, not letting me know he was there. He could have just nudged me to let me know. Nope. And I went, ah! And you heard this calm on the PA. And I was like, I don't feel so good. And I ended up walking off the stage outside the club. And they said there was blood just running down the back of my shirt. And the club owner and the bouncer was like, ah! And they're like in an ambulance. And I'm like, what? I mean, I was like, I was in there like, I don't know. I got 5 stitches in my head from that night.
Music and wrestling.
It wasn't from the crowd. Crowd violence is always
I got a good one about.
Crowd violence is always the worst.
Yes.
I opened for the Fabulous Poodles back in 78, 79. They were being touted as the next Beatles. They were a punk band from England. And it was at my father's place, which was a big venue here on Long Island. And backstage, this guy's pacing back and forth. He goes, "Oh, you?" I said, I'm the opening act." He goes, "Oh, yeah, great, good luck." And they, the lights go down, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my father's place, the Fabulous Poodles. Ah! But first, the comedy stylings of Rob Bartlett. I walk out, I grab the microphone, I go, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" And a beer bottle comes flying out of the audience.
Right there.
My ear went, "Thanks, good night, you guys have been great." Their manager goes, "That was the longest anyone's ever been on before them."
The longest. Good for you. That's
Oh my God.
Elizabeth
No
just wrote,
for any performing art, I think.
we actually shut down live music at the Preakness. We were playing our we were playing our set. Now this is a true story. So you know the Preakness, the big horse race, right? It's the big deal in Maryland. It's a whole thing. So the band, we got booked. We were the final band, and it was going to be this huge thing. And it was a huge thing. And all of a sudden, at the end of the set, we're just raging, and people started throwing beer bottles in the air.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! That's exactly right. So it was thousands of people, and they're all throwing their bottles in the air. And I'm like, those bottles have to come down, right? They have to come down somewhere, and they're glass. So they're coming down on the stage. Glass is just going everywhere. And people are like, the security pulls us off the stage. I was literally hanging on a speaker going, yeah, this is awesome. I had a guy pull me up. And they're like, all right, I think they're calm now. You guys should go back on. I'm like, all right. So we go back on. And they start throwing the bottles again. And we run off the stage that time because it wasn't, they were excited. So it wasn't like they were boo. Because, it was the craziest thing. I think they meant it to be a good thing.
You put the freak in the Preakness.
But what happened was, for almost 10 years, they didn't have live music at the Preakness. True story.
Wow.
You were the reason. Thank you very much.
Funny how beer.
I have to go. I actually have to go, guys. But Billy Kramer, wow. Wow. So it's, wow. That's all I can say. I don't even have words. Jenna, it was nice meeting you. Tom, the road, I don't even know what's going on, but I just know someone wanted to see your nipples. That's all I know. So, I don't really want to see your nipples, the Robio. So
you're going to.
You're right about that.
That was too much. Anyway, Mark and Richie, thank you. Literally, thank you so much. This was
you guys.
This was
thank
awesome.
you so much, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you being here with us.
It was an honor and a pleasure, and I'll do it again anytime. So just ask.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Right,
such a pleasure, man. Bye. That was great. Elizabeth Dorito, Matt Dorito's sister, just said, my brother had his nose broken on stage and sprayed blood all over everybody just like a total creep. He's the basis for Pop Evil. She said, I think it was on the Kid Rock cruise.
Oh, my God.
And then he jumped off the cruise ship. He told us he jumped off of the cruise ship into the water.
I was looking up Paul's Wikipedia page. It's amazing how prolific he was, how many songs he wrote. You and Me Against the World, We've Only Just Begun, Just an Old-Fashioned Love Song.
That's a great song.
It's amazing. Rainy Days and Mondays.
That's I think you're looking at the wrong Paul Lewis there, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Paul Williams. Never type into Google Paul plus another first name. And
oh, my God. So, Billy, I want to hear your crazy audience story.
Well, I've been pretty lucky, really, because they were quite, apart from like the early days with the Beatles, the erection was great, but it was like strange. I always found it strange where you're getting this tremendous like reception all over the place, and then I was doing like the Beatles show at Finsbury Park Astoria, the Christmas show, and then I got put into a place called the Big Isle nightclub in the middle of London, and it was like it went from hysteria to like nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, and it is it's one of them things where you go through the motions. It was very strange,
Man. See, Rob gets glass bottles thrown at him. You guys were getting underwear thrown at you.
Yeah, and jelly beans and craziness like that. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. But sometimes it's like there was a lot of like nightclubs in the northeast of England, and we used to play them, and hard audiences. It wasn't just, you know, you had to go on and you start from nothing. You had to really build it up. It was hard, you know. And you know, there was a spell where I'd be up in that area, the northeast of England, and the miners would go on strike. So like you'd be in the middle of your set, everything would go off. You know, everything.
Wow.
What you do with that, you know?
Yeah.
But,
No.
but I mean, I think the one thing I was thinking about since I was sitting here, it's like, you know, in my younger days, I was a bit crazy. You know, I mean, everybody thought I was this like clean cut, nice guy, you know. But I'm in Hamburg, and I was in the swimming pool in this hotel, and I had the night off, and the drummer said, "Should we go out?" So we go out to this nightclub and get really trashed, you know. And so the next night, the promoter, and he's a big promoter called Ryan Haas, says to me, he says, "Tonight I take you to my favorite place." And he took us to the same place. We got to the door and I went, "Oh no, I'm not having them in again." But you know, it's that's the way it was, you know.
Now this goes for Rob as well. I want everybody answering this, and I know this is a question that feels loaded because every show is special. But is there any one particular show that stands out in your mind, and it doesn't have to be the biggest audience you were in front of, but a show where just everything lined up and you really felt magic, or you really felt the powerful, you know, the powerful, like everything came together and you felt whole.
Well,
Jenna, let's start with you.
with me,
Jenna, let's go with Jenna, and then Rob, then Billy.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Back to the Milwaukee gig I was talking about a few years ago. So it's this big Italian festival. It's actually the biggest one in the country. It's called Festa Italiana, and it's beautiful. So if any of you've ever played Milwaukee or any of the festivals there, they have these dedicated festival grounds right on Lake Michigan. And so it's cool because there's Summerfest there, and there's all these different festivals throughout the summer. But from the stage, you can see the water, and it's just this like idyllic setting. It's beautiful. So I played 4 shows in 3 days there. And it was funny. The Sunday afternoon show, which was the Saturday night show, it was an 11 p.m. show after they did their fireworks. And I'm thinking, nobody's going to stick around for a show after the fireworks. Well, they did. And it was like you said, it was kind of magical. I was so excited. The energy coming from the audience was phenomenal. And it was interesting because they booked me 3 out of 4 shows to do all Italian themed stuff. But this post fireworks show, they wanted like 60s pop. So I did a lot of the girl group songs, and everybody was singing and dancing and clapping, and the band was rocking. And it was just one of those moments where you're like, this is perfect. If I could bottle this up and put this energy and this clicking into every show I do, I would be the happiest person in the world.
Nice. Rob, how about you?
I've never had that experience. I've never really had where I felt like it was really special. I just got by most of the time. There was a time there was some kind of an outdoor, like a festival. I think it was a festival crowd in Cooperstown. It was at a campground, and it was like an outdoor stage, and then there was like this long, like slope, like a hill, and there were 8,000 people on the lawn, and it was like being at Woodstock. It was like the most amazing thing because the sun had set, and they had little lights, and then like a whole lane of like food trucks on one side, and there were these 8,000 people like just sweeping up from where it was, and that was kind of cool. Hearing 8,000 people laugh and then applaud. That was a big one,
That's to feel like a wave just coming down the mountain to hit you.
Kinda, I mean, I've done theaters. The Foxwoods got like a 5,000 seat theater, and I did that a couple times, and that was kind of cool. Only because you get to, hang out in the Frank Sinatra dressing room, and they bring you up from the basement on a golf cart to the elevator that takes you backstage. With security guards. It's like Elvis has entered the building. That was a cool experience. It's there's a couple, but now it's
now it's Zoom shows.
And a couple of my aunts tune in.
Yeah, these days I think any live show feels like a miracle.
Yeah.
Any live show with an audience.
Right.
That was after last night's show. I was with the other comic and we're going, oh my God, that was so awesome. That was so amazing. But now I'm thinking about it. It's only like 50 people. It wasn't that amazing.
It just feels so good to be in front of real people and to hear laughter or applause, whatever it is. It makes a big difference.
There's an energy in that connection.
Yeah, you get the give and take of energy that just doesn't exist online.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Billy, how about you? I know you have probably a million great shows.
Yeah, I played at the World's Fair in 1964 for a week. That was a bit mind blowing, But there's been a lot, It's like I did this show for the Marquis of Bath at a stately home in England, and I go to this big stately home, and we go to the reception, and the guy says, "Are you crazy? He doesn't live here. He lives in this outhouse." So we get directions, we go there, and it's a normal house. And the roadie rings the doorbell, and this butler opens the door and says, "Come your way." And we walk in, the Marcus of Bath is sitting there with his wife and the family, and he goes, "Where the fuck have you been?" So we had like lunch with him, and then we go to the big stately mansion, and all the equipment set up on the steps. And I walk out, and there was like 11,000 people there, and we did like 2.5 songs, and it got all out of order, and that's enough, and that was it, I think there was a traffic jam about 11 miles long, But I'll tell you one more.
Wow.
This is funny enough. That was like cool, but I mean, this meant more to me, believe it or not. About 2 years ago, I'm out in Santa Fe with my wife Ronnie, and I go back, and I don't know how this guy had got my phone number, left a message, and I called up. And I said, like, it was his secretary. She said, Mr. Nash is in a meeting. He'll call you back. So I called him back and I said, "What is it you want? What is it you want, Mr. Nash?" He says, "Well, he says, my wife and I were at college, and we were underage, and we madly in love, and we wanted to get married. And everybody said we were crazy and everything. But we went to another state and got married. It's our 50th anniversary, such and such a date. And our favorite song at that time was that song of yours, Bad to Me. I would love you to come and sing it. I'll pay you." I would have done it for nothing, seriously. So I go out to California, and he hires the ballroom at the Hilton Hotel in Disney World. And the band are playing, and he gets up and he's talking, and there's all this, not a lot of people, less than 100 people. And he says, "Did you learn that song for me?" And they said, "But sorry, Mr. Nash, we didn't have the time." He says, "Well, there's only one person who can sing it." And I walked out and sang Bad to Me. And his wife didn't know I was, and she was like, wow. To me, that is a very special moment to me.
And they were divorced 2 days later when she told me how much she got paid, right?
No,
How
but
about
that was
I know you mentioned something when we were talking earlier about the Tammy show.
yes.
I'd love to hear about that. Just looking at the lineup, I was like, all right, this is nuts.
Tammy show.
It is the Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, James Brown, Marvin Gaye, you, Billy, and then Smokey Robinson, the Supremes, and the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the show that the Rolling Stones couldn't follow James Brown, so they did.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I was on pretty early, so I thought that's cool, and it went well and everything. But like James Brown to me was like, well, everybody was amazing, all them people, you know. Marvin Gaye was great, and Chuck Berry, and James Brown was just, to me, was at the top of his game that night, and it took like the show was like stopped for about an hour and a half after he finished, and I really felt sorry for the Rolling Stones. It was like, you know, ding 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 after James, you know, and I really felt sorry for them. You know, it didn't do them any harm though. You know.
Yeah, I think they made that okay.
You know, I'll tell you a funny thing about the Tammy show. The guy who directed it, when it came out on DVD, and they interviewed him, and he said, "My least favorite was Billy J. Kramer."
Oh wow!
So I was going to Santa Fe, and I put this email together, and I sent it to him. And within half an hour, he came back to me, and he was very nice. And I said, you know, why did you pick on me? He said, well, I thought you were the most poppy. I said, what are you talking about? Everybody was poppy. It was all pop, you know. And he said, well, I'm sorry if I offended you. Funny enough, we've become the best of friends now. It's amazing.
Oh wow!
Wow!
You know,
what a happy ending.
Yeah. Every time I see him, he goes, "Did you forgive me?"
Now, what's a style of music or a type of music that you're into that most people wouldn't know? That like you would secretly love to go out on stage and break out a song, but your fans might go.
The thing is, I'm not really known for like being a rock and roll singer, but I can do it pretty good, you know. I like to sing rock and roll. I think I've been around that long. I've done so many things. It's you know, you start off singing pop songs and you do stage shows and different things over the years, you know. What I've recorded in Nashville, I can't really put a tag on it, really. Just, you know, I can't. I think it's got an identity of its own, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I want people to be surprised and I want them to like it. You know, it's the thing is, people say like, what's it like when one of your records doesn't sell? I said, well, you can't go out there and say buy it. You know, you can't do that. That is the thing. You know, I always say to people, you know, you go in studios and you do the best you can, and it's up to him up there. You know, what you think, you know, you might do something and it's successful, something you think is really tremendous, you know, doesn't happen. And you have to learn to live with it, you know.
Yeah.
It's that's the business we're in. It's crazy. You know?
Jenna, is there? You do a lot of big Italian songs. You do a little bit of the old school rock and roll. Is there anything that
I don't do Italian songs? No.
No, you know, actually, so what I've done is I've kind of expanded the genre a little bit. I call it the Great Italian American Songbook. And it's songs that had their origins in Italy were made famous by Italian Americans or both. So it's not just like these kind of old, stodgy sounding Italian and Napolitan songs. Some of them sound a little more operatic, and I do love those, and I do them. But I do songs also by like Dion. I do Lou Christie. And then what people are actually really surprised with is sometimes I throw in an Aerosmith song because Steven Tyler's birth name is Steven Tallarico. He's Italian American. So I pop in little surprises like that every now and then, and it's fun just to mix it up. And it's fun for me to sing a completely different style.
Do you do Che La Luna?
That's actually the only one that I don't do out of all the big Italian ones. Because I always thought of it as more of like a guy song, and I'm because the Lazy Mary translation. But a couple people have been asking me for it, so that's next on my my list to learn. But I do like Torna Sorrento and O Sole Mio, and actually my newest album we released it in May. It was our big our big pandemic project. We do a very traditional version of Torna Sorrento, which is this beautiful Napolitan song with that accordion, the mandolin, and it sounds like we just got off the boat. But my husband's best friend from childhood is Tommy Burns, who is Billy Joel's longtime guitarist. And we originally had this thought, like, to do this super traditional Italian song and have him play kind of a screaming guitar solo on it. So he was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Send me the track. So we sent him the track. And he was like, actually, I have another idea. Just send me Jenna's vocal and the beats per minute. And I've got something I want to run by you. So a couple weeks later, he sent us back a completely redone track. He just kept my vocal. He and his son, who's also a talented musician and songwriter, they did this remix of the song. And it came out sounding like a James Bond theme song. It's like ethereal and oh my God, it's amazing. It's so cool. So we put that on the album as a bonus track because the rest of it's, fairly traditional and straightforward, even with the Lou Christie and Dion songs. But this one is so far out of the box, like, it kind of needs its own category. So that was a really cool collaboration. And we're thrilled with the way it came out.
Well, sometimes I do a thing where I have Larry DeVito playing drums with me, and he plays cardboard boxes, and we just do rock and roll songs with acoustic guitars, which is pretty cool. But I like to, funny, it's like what I can't understand about the way things are now with these like copy bands and Beatle bands and Led Zeppelin bands. It's like I've always tried to do something from everybody,
Right.
I couldn't go and sing somebody else's songs all night. If I do, well, I'll do like a Roy Orbison song, a Rick Nelson song, a Fats Domino song, a Little Richard song, Eddie Cochran. I'll do them all, but I couldn't,
stay on one artist.
Do one artist all
Yeah, it's
night long.
interesting. Actually, I started, 12, 13 years ago doing a tribute to Connie Francis, just because a bunch of people said, your voice has similar qualities, you should try this. So I did it. I put together this Connie Francis tribute. And it's interesting. It actually, it gets booked quite a bit still when shows are getting booked. And it always fascinates me because I really wouldn't think there's a market for it, and there is. And for me, it's kind of fun to take a break. I usually do a little bit of everything, even under the Great Italian American Songbook umbrella. A lot of varieties and styles and artists I cover. So it's kind of an interesting departure for me just to do the one artist for a night. But, within her body of music, she had a bunch of different styles. So she did the Italian stuff. She did her, like, super cute pop songs. She did some country. So we can even mix it up within that show. But yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely an audience. There's these, like, that Connie Francis diehards. I get booked at, like, the Empire City Casino a couple times a year with it. And they show up at, like, 4 in the afternoon to reserve their seats in the front row. It's cute. It's really touching. It's nice.
That's awesome. Now, this was actually something I was going to ask. I was going to ask Paul, but I'd love to ask you guys both as well. I don't know. Have you guys ever scored for a film or a TV show? Have you ever gave that a try?
No, it's interesting though. It's something I'm looking into. And actually, my Italian teacher, I've been studying with him for like 5 years. He's turned into a good friend. He is also a filmmaker, and he's worked with Spike Lee and stuff. And he's just entered negotiations with Netflix for a couple of like miniseries. So he asked me if I would be interested in providing music for what he's filming. Sign me up. That sounds amazing. So yeah, if that goes through, I'll let you guys know if I want to talk about it. But I'm excited. It's something different, and it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Billy, how about you?
Yeah, no, I just write the occasional song, and that's about it. Yeah.
Because I guess in my head, what I wonder about is because when you write a song, Billy, if you have a song, like I don't know which comes first, the lyrics or the tune.
Yeah, it's so strange because like I always think it's like some songs have come very easily because I always say it's like the parts are there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was talking to this young kid who's I've been trying to help a bit, and he came to my house last week, and I'm like, what's your process? And he goes, oh, get on the internet, and I get this app, and they send me a track, and then I put words to it, and I'm like, what? I can't get that. I mean, I would get up and say, God, what have we got today? Is it a rock and roll song? You know what I mean?
Wow, that's crazy.
Before the show today, I was thinking of like, how do you write a really nice Christmas song with what's going on in the last couple of years? It'd be nice to do something like that,
Yeah.
But it's like somebody sent me a track and like, can you write something to it? And the bottom line is I can't.
Yeah.
I have to start it off bare bones by myself and drive myself crazy.
You'd have to find the rhythm of the scene and then do your process within their process. I don't know how it would even work.
Well, when I wrote the original soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop, which is, I guess, the number 4 porn movie in terms of rentals, they sent me dailies. And
you would only watch them in 2-minute increments.
Yeah, and then I had to put in a couple more quarters. So
I just feel I don't know, when you guys are writing a song, I mean, there's just so much of a process of like the tune and the lyric. I don't have any music. I'm not a musical person. I love music and I really enjoy it, but it's overwhelming to even think.
Well, you're not a funny person, and yet you're still a comedian.
Well, that's very true, Rob. But with comedy, I just have to talk into a microphone.
That was a perfect Richie impression today.
I was freezing myself as Richie.
Nice technique.
Rob's just not funny. He also pretends to be somebody who's not funny and make it funny. So
it's yeah, I guess it's a gift.
He's out.
Rob's out.
He gets fed up with my bad jokes so much that he just tunes out.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Well,
so you also have a biography, right? Your biography?
yes.
Is it coming out or is it out now?
It's out.
It's out, and where can people get it?
BillyJKramer.com.
All right. I will make sure people come and check that out.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Where did Richie go? Did his car get repossessed?
Yeah, he totally lost his connection. His Wi-Fi.
Richie
issues.
He pretended his landscaper was there. Richie just had to actually go mow the lawn.
He did. He said his landscaper's just behind.
He's like, "Oh, my landscaper's here," and he showed us a picture of a brown guy, and then cut to he's on the tractor in the backyard. So, do you guys have anything fun coming up? I mean, I know that we're in such a weird spot right now where it's like we're getting work, but it may be taken away at any moment.
Yeah.
Santanaro, which as of today it's running. So if that runs, I'm going to be there on closing night. It'll be my 11th consecutive time being the closing night after that, which is pretty cool. So that's awesome. Sunday, September 26th from 6 to 9. And I also have a new single coming out next week, which I'm really excited about. Normally I wouldn't do something like that so close to releasing an album, but it's a really special circumstance, and I'm actually doing it as a fundraiser. A good friend of mine who's a shop owner in Little Italy, Ernie Rossi, his shop, E. Rossi and Company, has been in his family for over 100 years. And in the 50s and 60s, they were the biggest publisher of Italian music in the country. So a lot of those big Barry Vale and Victor Moon songs came through them. So anyway, Ernie's a very good friend of mine, and he is in danger of losing his shop because he's been hit so hard by the pandemic.
Oh, man.
And so on top of that, he had surgery done in February. So he went into the hospital, and then he was sent to a rehab center. While he was in rehab, his wife of 50 years and his best friend who lived with him and his wife, they both got COVID and died within 10 days of each other. So he with both of them there, came back to an empty house, and it breaks my heart. And he's the sweetest, kindest man in the world. So it's interesting you're asking about songwriting process, because when I first met him over 10 years ago, he was just starting to work on this song, which he wanted to do as a tribute to the victims of 9/11. And it's called The Other Side of Forever. And it's about how we all meet up again on the other side. And it's a beautiful sentiment. And through the years, they'd say, Ernie, how's that song coming? Because he played me this opening line, and it's all he had. And he said, I've got to work on it. I've got to work on it. So when he got back home to his empty house, and he just started picking up his guitar, and he started playing with it a little more, and he finished the song after 10 years. And so I said to him, I said, it's beautiful, and can still honor the victims of 9/11, but I think given what everybody's gone through in the past year and a half, especially with you and your personal losses, I think it speaks to a wider audience than just that. It really speaks to anybody who's dealing with a personal loss. So all the musicians donated their time. I got the studio for an incredibly reasonable rate. The engineer gave it to me as cheaply as he could afford. And he himself, he's a drummer. He added all the percussion for us. My graphic designer did it for $50, which is ridiculous. I mean, everybody just contributing to do this, to make it as affordable as possible, so we can send all the proceeds to him and help try to save his shop. So that's coming out next week. The actual discs will be to me between September 8th and September 10th. So I'm hoping the digital release will be ready for September 11th, but if not, it'll be shortly thereafter. But it's really special. So I'm going to have a separate page on my website, tell people how they can purchase it, but also if they want to make further donations to Ernie and his shop. It's a really touching story.
If you send us send it to us, we'll put it up on our social media. Social media. So couples of people will see that, and hopefully it'll help. How about you, Billy? Anything fun coming up?
I've got something coming up in Connecticut. I don't even know what it is. But I don't really know what I'm going to do, because I think I'm obviously going to do some things when I finish the album with the band. But I did do some things with Rob before this all started. We got together a thing where it was like songs and stories, and Rob would ask me questions about my career and the whole thing, and I really enjoyed doing that with just like acoustic guitar, maybe a piano, and doing it like that. It's another thing I do. I enjoy doing that.
That's very cool.
Pardon?
I said that's very cool.
Yeah. So it's like a waiting game, but I'm very optimistic that things are going to turn around, and and I'll be rocking again.
That was one of the things MTV and VH1. I really it broke my heart that they quit doing all those storyteller and unplugged shows.
Yes,
there's something about a musician who tells you the story and then plays the song that is just so. It just grabs you, and you never thought of the song that way, or it changes your perspective on songs.
Well, there is, with the stories about. To me, it's. I enjoy telling people how the whole thing came about. And it's new to them. You can only do it once. But I mean, I enjoy doing that. It's a change. It's nice.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? Anything fun coming up?
I'm shopping a sponsor for my podcast, and I taking a couple of offers. But I'm going to be doing a show that I wrote. It's interestingly enough, it's a bunch of my stories. It's called Mr. Big Shot, and I'm putting them all together and doing kind of like a one-man show, and going to be doing that at the Seven Angels Theater in November. So
very cool.
That's only Rob can make plugs funny.
Are you making fun of my theatrical endeavor? I mean,
no, I think you're a brilliant, genius man, and I have a feeling he's out. All right, I scared him off. Tom, you got anything fun coming up?
Yeah, we actually have Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling is going to be live from Poughkeepsie, New York this Friday night. So if you want to come join us, it will be my birthday. So the after party, after Richie and Mark have a show, we're going to do Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling live, a bunch of prizes we're going to be giving out to the audience who remain post-show and join us for the live event. This is one of our first live DJ S's with a crowd.
Give me the info on that, Tom, so I don't want to miss this.
Where is that, Mark? What is the name of that theater?
Laugh It Up Poughkeepsie. Laugh It Up Poughkeepsie. It's at the Holiday Inn. Laugh It Up Comedy Club. It's not just Tom. It's also the owner of the comedy club's birthday.
What time is it?
It's gonna start at 7.
You have to bring a gift.
Yes, please.
We prefer. And Tom is a husky pants, and husky. He's a husky male model.
We don't say husky. We say portly.
Portly. I'm too tall to be portly.
It sounds like a shipyard.
It sounds extra tough. So check us out at the Laugh It Up Poughkeepsie. That's going to be a lot of fun. And where can everybody find you guys on the social medias?
I'm easily findable. Facebook is at Sparkle Jenna. That's Twitter too. Instagram is Jenna_Esposito. And then there's always my old-fashioned website, JennaEsposito.com.
Wonderful. We're following now.
And I'm on Facebook, LouisJKramer.com.
Fantastic. And Rob?
I don't want anybody following me. I've had enough of you people at this point. I gave, and I just can't give anymore.
Tom, where do we find you?
You can find me at Down to the Felt on all the mediums, Down to the Felt and Down to the Felt NJ on Twitter.
If you go to Rob's Instagram, look up his friends. I'm under Mark Riccadonna. That's where you can find me. Make sure you check out through Rob's Instagram, my account. But guys, I can't thank you enough. I'd love to have you guys come back, especially if we can get Richie some internet, because I know he had a million questions. He was so excited. We were worried I wasn't going to get internet, but I found a library close to where the gig was. But
you should have Jenna and Billy back, and not Richie and not me, and certainly not Tom. It should just be the three of you, but everybody has to be in their car.
Everybody in the car.
Perfect.
I think everybody should be in my car in different
Good
seats.
That's a great idea. It'd be like
Just doing it for the
it'd be like
tag.
carpool
comedians
karaoke.
involved.
It'd be carpool comedy.
Yeah.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Where you from?
It'd be a great show. Maybe we go get a cup of coffee.
Well, thank
There's
you.
a reason why I haven't met you in person, Mark.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen with you. I have a reputation to uphold.
Most people don't even like me from the distance of the internet, but
At least there's a screen. Jenna, nice meeting you. I've already gone on to iTunes and I bought you More Amore because I want to hear this James Bond Italian song.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how you can Toma a Sorrento and turn it into a James Bond theme, but that's pretty cool.
We actually played it over the opening sequence of the James Bond movie just to check it. It fit perfectly.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
oh, that's
Maybe,
cool.
maybe you can use it for the James Bond movie that's supposed to be coming out sometime in the next 5 years.
Right. The one that keeps being
Did
put
they
off.
Did they ever figure out who's going to be the new Bond?
I think Daniel Craig's doing it one more time begrudgingly, and then they'll find somebody else.
An angry Daniel Craig.
Yes.
I guess it's better than Larry Craig.
There you go.
I had heard that they were going to make a female, and
I did hear that.
yeah, it was going to be a female, and they were going to get Rosie O'Donnell.
Perfect.
I think we get Billy J. Kramer to play Bond.
Oh,
He's got the voice.
He'd be great. A Liverpudlian James Bond. I love it. I love a vodka martini.
I never met Sean Connery. I met Roger Moore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. At an award show. Very nice man.
I'm dying to know. Have you ever met the Queen?
No, I met Prince Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones and.
All right, I'm going to wrap this episode up. I thank you guys. Love to have you back on. It's been so awesome. Rob, thank you for stopping in and saving the show.
My pleasure.
We needed a comedian.
Thank you.
It's my job. I mean, I know whenever I see Richie's face, I know my work is cut out for me. So.
Okay.
Good seeing you, Billy. Nice
seeing you all.
Everybody.
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much, everybody. Have a great one.
See you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Mark.